Chris Lee and Blake Lovell from Southeastern 14 here, ready to talk some basketball and baseball today. Congratulations again to Arkansas. We're wearing the mini Must Bus in honor of the Razorbacks this morning. The Must Bus was fully gassed and headed on a collision course out west, and
had a better trip to California than Clark Griswold did. So.
Yes. Hey, look, kids, Coach K.
Yeah. Yeah. So, by the way, just so we're clear on this, we do have a video on Arkansas beating Duke. Or, excuse me, that's not happened yet. Freudian slip there.
Are we making a prediction? You'll have to watch another video to find out.
We do have a video on Arkansas beating Gonzaga. So, if you're coming into this one, you're thinking, why are these guys not talking about Arkansas today? It's because we did it for an hour last night right after the game. So be sure to check that one out. Just go back to the video before this one that you're watching, and we did a live stream last night, and it looks like everyone has watched it already. So just to make that clear, though, if anyone's looking for it, and we're not doing our usual day after reaction here. That's because we already did it last night. So go watch that. It was quite an entertaining time. So.
Well, point of clarity, I'm not going to go grab the bag of shame for this because it was off the cuff. But we did talk about the 94 and 95 teams, which won the national title and were the national runner-up respectively. Got my shooters a little out of order. I had Lee Mayberry and Todd Day on that team. I thought afterwards, I don't think that's right, which a couple of fans corrected me. They're right. I think Mayberry and Day were done a little before that, and Scotty Thurman was the guy I was thinking of. They had him with Williamson, so
yeah, he wasn't bad either. So.
No, they could play a little bit.
Yeah,
they were fun.
We got an Arkansas Duke breakdown coming soon after this video, so it will not be in this one. It will be in the next video. So there you go.
Well, let's talk about some other teams because a lot of players from the SEC hit the portal yesterday. What stands out?
It's going to be the next 2 weeks. Chances are one of your players on your team is going to transfer. That's just where we are at this point. Yeah, I mean, it's by the time you watch this video, there will be more players that have probably transferred that we haven't even talked about in the SEC. Brandon Murray at LSU, Xavier Pinson LSU, Dante Allen, Kentucky, Devin Cambridge, Auburn. Who am I missing? Trevon Brazil at Missouri. That was a couple days ago. Javon Pickett, Missouri as well. No surprises in LSU or Missouri. Anytime you have a coaching change, players are going to not necessarily transfer, but doesn't hurt you to put your name in the portal. We see this every year now. So this is to be expected with coaching changes. Matter of can Matt McMahon, will either of those guys return? Will Dennis Gates be able to get either one of those guys back? No idea. So yeah, those are some of the ones. Eric Stevenson at South Carolina, another one that's in there. Nothing should shock us anymore when it comes to transfer portal. Nothing. I don't care who it is. I don't care where they play. Everyone is just like, this is what it's become. I think that, are any of these shocking in any sense to me? No, because I just don't look at it that way anymore. I look at it as though if you're a player, the rules have been changed to where you have every opportunity, every single offseason to pursue another team. And by putting your name into the hat doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to stay in there, but it doesn't hurt you by doing it. And this is just kind of what it's become. So,
okay, there's one in there that did surprise me. Why would Devin Cambridge leave Auburn? I mean, you would presume Jabari
he wants
Smith
to play with his brother.
There is that.
That's why. That seems to be the thinking. I'll find you the exact thing, but that one did not necessarily surprise me, because I think that's what he wanted to do. Let me see if I can find the
His
quote
brother
here.
was where?
Let me just find it here real quick.
Ivy League? Am I getting him confused with another Cambridge?
I'll find it. Well,
okay.
Yeah. So I'll find it. But yeah, I don't. Again, that's one that on the surface, I understand, but I don't think it's that that surprising.
Dante Allen, I don't blame at all. I think he got probably underutilized at Kentucky.
Yeah.
That was
Here
a
you go,
point
real
of contention
quickly
for that fan base at times.
on Cambridge. Yeah, Travis Branham, 24/7. Plans up teaming with his brother. Yeah. Desmond. Desmond was at Nevada and transferred.
Nevada, okay.
So,
And he had been somewhere before that, right?
was
I
it
think he'd been
Princeton?
at an Ivy.
Because wasn't he on the
Yeah.
list for Vanderbilt at one point?
Yeah, but I don't think he ever had an offer, actually.
Yeah. So
That was a weird deal.
I think that's the right Cambridge. Yeah.
I think so.
There's a lot of Cambridges out there.
Well,
I don't know if that's right or not. So
Devin
I may be
can
wrong on
play.
this.
Devin would have been a really good. I mean, he was a good player, but I mean, Devin would have put up numbers for them this year. I think had they not had two All-America caliber bigs there. I mean, he did well when he played. I thought.
Yeah.
Really
Desmond
good
was at
athlete.
Brown. Yeah.
Okay, Murray and Pinson. I'd forgotten Pinson even had eligibility left. Murray, no surprise. Now, who's LSU? I presume Eason and Days go pro.
I guess. I mean, I think it's hard to know at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look,
I don't know why Eason wouldn't.
Every place that's had a coaching change, basically all their players are up for transfer, in my opinion. Like, that to me is just how it works. So that's where, like, if you're Eason, if you're Days, if you're guys like that, you're going to have plenty of opportunities at professional level, even if it's not at the NBA right away. So, yeah, they'll have chances. Murray, Pinson, new coaching change. Even if you can still be talked back into it, there's no reason not to put your name in the portal because you're going to get everybody contacting you. Yeah. So,
do you follow mock drafts at all? Because I do not. I'm not an NBA guy.
I don't follow them religiously by any means. I can tell you off the top of my head that my guess is Jabari Smith is a top 1-2 pick. Walker Kessler is around the lottery. Kennedy Chandler is a first-round pick. Yeah, beyond that, I have no idea. So.
Yeah, I'm looking. Yahoo's got an update on Eason. Apparently, he's if I'm reading this correctly, potential. Okay, yeah, they've got him 15 overall to the Thunder in an ESPN mock draft. I don't know about Days. I mean, Days will play.
I don't think Days is a first-round pick or anything.
Yeah, but I mean, he'll play professionally for a long time with the size and the skill set. Yeah, Missouri will be interesting to see where that rebuild goes.
Yeah.
Not much left in that closet.
No, I mean, and that was the thing is you have to keep that in mind too. Guys are transferring out, but I mean, if you look at the previous roster and what it was able to achieve, everybody I think Missouri-wise is focusing on Kobe Brown right now, but Kobe Brown's a good player. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. This is still a team that didn't win a lot of games last year, and so,
right.
I mean, yeah, Dennis Gates is not gonna be shocked if he just comes in right away and is winning 25 games next year. I just think it's going to be that's what we always have to account when it comes to the rosters for any coach, whether it's Gates, McMahon, Paris, like all these guys. There's going to be turnover immediately. But the thing is for all the transfers out, you can also get guys to transfer in, and you can go the JUCO route and kind of get a quick fix there if you need it. And so, yeah, there's a lot of different ways to rebuild your roster in this era. So it's just with the transfer, it does make it a little bit more challenging just because, again, you're going to have players leave right away and you're going to be having a very small roster to work with perhaps as soon as you take the job. So, yeah. I mean, again, look, this is we mentioned 7 or 8 names here. There's 20 plus more to come in the SEC.
Oh, at least, yeah.
Yeah.
Eric Stevenson really flashed some things at times. He's he's not the most efficient guy, but he's got a little athleticism. He led them in scoring a few times. He could start for a lot of places.
Yeah, because he'll be a senior. Is that right? Maybe I don't know.
He was a transfer, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean he's been a couple places now.
Yeah.
Come from Washington, I think. So
maybe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll see. But it's always a guessing game. And by the way,
Dante Allen will be interesting.
well, with Eric Stevenson, you want to guess who he's heard from?
Let's hear it.
He's heard from Arkansas. You know why? Because everyone's heard from Arkansas. That's for all of you.
There's not much room on the Muss bus.
Well, no, but for all of you who don't know the joke, it's if you see a transfer, you are going to see Arkansas's name on the contact list because it is a science for Eric Musselman in terms of how he attacks the transfer portal. Nate
Oates not much different, is he?
There's no one like Arkansas or Eric Musselman. Take the Arkansas away. There's no one like Musselman when it comes to the transfer portal because they contact everyone. I mean, everyone to an extent. But again, that's the running joke on Twitter is that if you see a player transfer and you see a media person put out, this transfer has heard from, you are going to see Arkansas on that list.
Muss may have been texting him from the handshake line last night.
This is how they do it. It is a science. His staff, like they have got it figured out, and I applaud them for that because it doesn't hurt to reach out, right?
Stevenson would be fun on that offense.
Well, Auburn's also reached out. So
I didn't even know that, and that was the next thing out of my mouth because the freedom their guards get, Stevenson, I think, would love to play there. I would guess, but
those are two of 100 that are going to wind up reaching out for Eric Stevenson. So good luck trying to figure out where he winds up because I think it's just these are always a big guessing game to me. So yeah, we'll see how it plays out.
Although I don't know that inefficient shooting guards need to be on the top of Bruce Pearl's list after this year. Just a thought.
There'll be plenty more in the transfer portal that he can look at. So.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on the transfer market?
1,000 to come.
Yeah. We got baseball this weekend.
Go for it. I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna drink my water. And
Blake is not in baseball mode yet.
I'm not. I'm almost there, but I'm not there yet. It's because of the Muss bus. The Muss bus is still rolling around San Francisco, and yeah. So no, but we do, and carry on.
Well, we got a start last night. Vandy beat up South Carolina pretty good. That was 10-0. Noah Hall started. Threw a no-hitter for 4 innings, and then just the control and command just went completely out the window. Vandy's won 18 in a row. That's crazy.
Seems okay.
Yeah, I think they're going to be all right. That team is, oh my goodness, the pitching on that team this year. I mean, you would automatically think losing Rocker and Leiter, they take a step down. They might be better. As crazy as that sounds, I mean, it is very premature to say that, but they've got so much depth. Last year it was like, okay, we got about 5-6 guys maybe, and then oh no. And you saw it happen to them in Omaha. This year they've got probably twice that in terms of guys who can pitch. So there's not a Rocker or a Leiter on that staff, but Carter Holton's really good. He's going to be the next one for them. And they don't even have Riley or Little in their rotation, which that was like 6 weeks ago. You would have just assumed they were both in there. But anyway, that one started. Carolina now below 500. That's one to watch. Sometimes scheduling has a lot to do with this. And like you look at two teams that got the benefit of the early schedule. Vanderbilt's one, starting with Missouri at home and at South Carolina. Those are, I'm not sure who the worst two teams in the league are. I don't think there's a bad team in this league, but they're probably in the discussion. Arkansas got a break too with Kentucky at home, then Missouri on the road, and Mississippi State, which has been reeling a little bit, will be next week. And then you got Tennessee, which is going Ole Miss and Vandy back-to-back on the road, Blake. That's brutal.
Well, I mean they've been good this season.
They have been good. They've lost one game.
More a team like that. So yeah.
The computers right now, and the ones I'm looking at, I don't know how great the college baseball computer ratings are, but there's a few out there. There's Boyd's World, there's Kenneth Massey, there is Warren Nolan's ELO, and there's Kenneth Moore, and they've got Tennessee and Vandy are basically tied for the computers think those are the best two teams in the league by a pretty good jump over the next group, which would be Ole Miss, Florida, Arkansas, Georgia. I don't know that I'd put them in that order. In fact, and I think Ole Miss and Arkansas, in my mind, I'd put closer to Vandy, Tennessee, and maybe one or two of those teams ahead. But Ole Miss, Tennessee, Blake, that's going to be fascinating because both these teams can hit. I don't have park factors. I hadn't seen them in a long time, but I would guess that the two most home run friendly ballparks are probably Ole Miss and Tennessee. And I'm really interested to see if anybody can pitch this week. And Tennessee has pitched really well. That's been, like, of all the big surprises this year, that's the one that I think has caught me most off guard because Tennessee's without Tidwell and Halverson, who were going to be their 1 and 2. And my goodness, the balls have pitched like crazy. But Ole Miss, man, Elko, McCants, even without Kevin Graham, that lineup is loaded.
Well, there you go. That there's a series to watch in between the Muss Bus doing its thing on Saturday.
That is the series to watch this weekend. Ole Miss, Tennessee.
No doubt. They're playing at 7 on Saturday, I think. What's the Sweets or the Elite Eight game? Is that, I think Duke and Arkansas play the late game too on that.
I have not seen the schedule.
Fairly certain it's the late game. They're always going to put Coach K in primetime at this point. So
might be a 2 TV Saturday for those of you who like
TV
baseball
Saturday.
and basketball.
Yeah, you got Tennessee Ole Miss at 7 on Saturday, and so there you go. I'm trying to see what else.
It's going to be a 2 TV Saturday for me, and maybe a phone and a computer. I might even have to do 4 screens at once.
Wow, you're a madman.
I am
madman. So no, that's like you said, LSU and Florida too. So that's it's a nice little Saturday evening there.
LSU Florida will be fascinating. LSU has put itself in a hole. I did not think they would lose 2 or 3 to Texas A&M. That never crossed my mind.
Think LSU fans are happy right now?
I'm guessing not.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I saw some rumbling on that not too after that series, and a lot of people on Twitter, which, again, Twitter's Twitter, but a lot of unhappy folks out there.
Blake, I don't know if they can pitch or field. They certainly can't field right now.
You got to do both of those to win in baseball.
It's built like a slow pitch softball team almost. That's harsh. That's
wow. Well, there went our LSU audience.
That's more hot take-ish than I meant. But my point being, it's the lineup is loaded, right? You got Jacob Berry, you got Cruz, you got Morgan. You could make an argument that those were the top 3 hitters in the league coming into the season. I don't know that I would, but they were all on that short list. You got Cade Doty, Gavin Dugas, you got Jordan Thompson's hit pretty well for them, but I thought their pitching would be better than it's been. I don't know. I keep thinking they're better than they are, and they probably are, but it's not been a great start. Florida's a little bit ahead of schedule, I think. But Florida's pitching depth is going to get challenged, and that's where I think Florida's vulnerable. But that one's in Gainesville, so I'm thinking Florida gets that one. I'm going to go Ole Miss over Tennessee just because I'm going with the home team on both these. I think if it's in Knoxville, I'd probably change my mind.
Using my strategy in basketball, I see.
Well, hey, until it stops working. And it worked pretty well last weekend. I think you had Ole Miss won a series at Auburn. Florida won at Alabama. I guess you did have 3 road teams win series, but you would argue that 2 of those were clearly the better team coming in. So the only one that surprised me last weekend was A&M beating LSU.
Who's the team you think that's kind of maybe in the middle somewhere there right now that's either about to, I don't know, like I don't want to well, I don't want you to put anybody down. So
Sure.
who's the team in the middle you think that's sort of about to explode, or is there one of those teams that have caught your eye thus far? I mean, like you said, LSU's maybe an interesting one just because they maybe are going in the wrong direction, but I don't know. Like it's still early. Like I try
Yeah.
to keep that in mind. Like we're still early in this, but I don't know if there's a team in the middle. Like Georgia was a team a lot of people I know were
Yeah.
pretty high on going into the season, and I don't know though. Like you said though, it's like you're looking around and you're thinking, boy, Ole Miss, Arkansas, Vandy, Tennessee, anyone kind of breaking into that group. It's yeah, it's an interesting
Well,
thought.
let me give you my hierarchy. I think I would go in that this is not in order. This is how I group them. I think you've got Tennessee, Vandy, Ole Miss, Arkansas as your top 4 in some order. I would go Florida on its own category at 5. And then in some order, Georgia, Auburn, LSU. I'm not ready to throw dirt on LSU. Auburn's really intriguing to me because Sonny DeShera is probably the player of the year to this point. Now hasn't done it against anybody yet, but he's just having a monster offensive year. I was big on Georgia. I was bigger on Georgia than most people, but the pitching has been leakier than I thought. I think their offense is a little better than people think it is. They got some dudes in that lineup with Corey Collins. Ben Anderson's having a phenomenal year. Georgia's always going to defend. I think their pitching's better than it's shown, but I'm really bothered how many runs they gave up last weekend. I would say Georgia, Auburn, LSU are those 3 teams that I'm kind of watching because those seasons could go a lot of ways. And Mississippi State I'd put in there too. I'm not ready to just have the funeral for Mississippi State yet. I know a lot of their fans are. I'm not there. I think their lineup is really good. I think their pitching, I know they've lost 2 huge arms, but they've got a couple of guys that in their rotation that have been good. Preston Johnson and Smith, I think, have been pretty good. Parker Stinnett can't get worse. I mean, it's been a roller coaster with that kid. But that's the teams. I think, honestly, Blake, it's fascinating right now from 6 to 14. I mean, you could make a case South Carolina is the worst team in the league, and they took 2 or 3 from Texas 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So what's this tell you? You could make a case that Kentucky is the worst team in the league. Kentucky took 2 or 3 from a ranked TCU team a couple weeks ago. I think Alabama's a little better than people think. I don't know if they can hit outside Zane Denton. I kind of had my mind made up on A&M, but after that LSU series, they might be what I thought they were. I thought at the beginning they could get in the NCAAs because Schlossnagle rebuilt through the transfer portal, and he's a great coach. Missouri's better than people thought. Here's the issue I'm having, and it's why I didn't do power rankings this week. Because these teams, a lot of them still haven't played much in the way of quality competition. Now, where I draw conclusions is when a team has issues against mediocre competition. Then I think you know a little something.
Yeah.
But if a team dominates, you're not quite sure until the league games start coming. And this is going to be a much better weekend to make assessments than last.
Yeah. Should be interesting. Yeah, just quickly, some breaking news on the basketball front. Frank Martin has his new job.
Did he go to UMass?
So good for him. Yeah,
okay.
UMass.
Good for him.
Finalizing a deal. By the way, non-SEC note. Well, kind of. Former Alabama guy. Steve Prohm. You know where he's headed? Back to Murray State.
No kidding.
Reconnection.
Good for him.
Yeah. Headed back to Murray State. So there you go. Coaching carousel never stops.
No.
Looks like Mike White's staff coming together at Georgia. So, by the way, I wasn't meaning to throw all this in here, but this has all literally happened in the last 10 minutes.
Sure.
So, there you go. So, lots coming together on the basketball front.
I'll run down the rest of this series quickly. Auburn at Kentucky will be interesting because both those teams can really hit. I think Auburn's got the better pitching. So I'm going to go Auburn with the road win in that one, but that'll be interesting. No, I'm sorry. Auburn goes to A&M. I'm a line off. Kentucky. Georgia goes to Kentucky. I'm going to go with Georgia in that one just because I like their arms better. Kentucky's probably got the worst pitching in the league. Cole Stupp, I was hoping for more. Hasn't happened. But if he gets it together, look out because they can hit. E-Step, all those guys have been mashing up there. So watch that one. That'd probably be I feel like there's going to be a lot of runs scored in that one. Auburn goes to A&M. I'm leaning Auburn towards the road upset just because I'm not buying A&M until I see a little bit more. LSU, Florida, we talked about that one. State and Alabama. I like State at home. I think they're a little better than people think. And I think Vandy will take at least 1 or 2 in Carolina and finish off the series there.
There you go.
But I'll tell you what,
prediction spot.
All of these have got Arkansas losing 2 at Missouri is one I have a hard time seeing. But Missouri's better, and Arkansas can't sleep on that one. I don't think Vandy will lose the series now that it's got a game in its pocket. Ole Miss, Tennessee is the one to circle, but the rest of these are pretty good too.
Very interesting weekend in the SEC for sure. Again, you've still got a basketball team playing. Saturday's a big SEC sports day, right? So you got like I said, those series we talked about, Florida, LSU, and Ole Miss, Tennessee, are the Saturday games in the afternoon/evening. Arkansas, Duke. So yeah, it's a lot happening. So, man, this league never stops.
Nope.
Ever.
But that's good
NIT,
for us.
Is there NIT? No, Texas A&M doesn't play till next week, right?
A&M advanced to Madison Square Garden. Congrats
right.
to the Aggies.
I was going to say, that wasn't this weekend.
And they've got, I had an NIT bracket around here somewhere, but not anymore.
Washington State.
Okay, which had a good year.
Yep.
The power teams came to play in the NIT this year.
Yeah, they did.
Nobody went on early spring break in that one.
No. So, yeah. So there you go. Spring football underway. All kinds of stuff happening right now.
We got to make some of this stop, man.
Enough.
There's only 2 of us. We can't digest everything at once.
People asking last night in the chat if we're hiring. Send us your requests. There you go. So.
All right, we'll be back with a Duke, Arkansas video soon. We'll have some baseball coverage this weekend. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. We'll see you again soon.